Good morning. You're listening to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning, my guest is Jay Smith, who's president of Floor Expo. Jay, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Kemp. How are you?
I'm well. Good to talk to you, and thanks for taking my call. I wanted to talk to you based on this news we ran yesterday on Floor Daily about the builder market. You know, it's been a long time coming. We can't jump up and down, but it looks like there's a little bit of life in the business, and I wanted to get your perspective on it. Tell us what you're feeling out there.
Better. That's what we're feeling. We feel a little bit better, exactly. And you're right. We will take any good news we can get in the builder segment. We have gotten some good news in the last few days, and we're happy to see it.
So the numbers are, just to run through them, it's, I guess, 750,000, and that's up 2.3%. I think the economists were hoping for a little bit better. And you're telling me that that's actually the combined rate. The single-family rate is more like 530 or something like that, right?
Yeah, we talked about that before we got on. Yeah, we tend to look at them separately, particularly because there's so much volatility in the multifamily start number. But single family, is up 27% year over year August,
right,
which is on top of an 18% July and a 21% June. So as you start to look at that trend, yeah, it's still at a relatively low level, and we're modeling like about 510 for the year end. But, that'd be 17% up year over year, single-family starts.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty solid. So, yeah, that's kind of how we're looking at it from a single-family standpoint. You can even see that when we look at the permits. I think the August permits were up like 19%. So that says it's consistent with the prior trend, and it says 500-plus this year is maybe within reach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's cause for a little bit of optimism. We'd still like it to be a little stronger, but it's coming back a little bit.
Most people know that with flooring contractors, you focus in two areas, single-family and multifamily. That's why you track both, and they're almost two divisions within your organization. So on the single-family side, I think the members that you have are the top, the cream of the crop. They're doing pretty well, aren't they?
They're doing better. The guys, it's been a long, hard slog, as you know, because the business, it didn't slow down. It fell off the table.
Right.
But it has been coming back, and the folks that are there now are strong. They're lean. They're mean. They're giving the builder everything they want and nothing that they don't today. And I've talked to a bunch of folks in the last few weeks, and most everybody is up and is up significantly.
Mm-hmm.
Many of them are up double digits. And, yeah, they're happy about things. And, existing home sales are up too, Kemp. You've seen that. There is cause for optimism. If you look at the 1 year, 2 year chart, and you say, hey, it's got a nice shape to it. If you look at the 10-year chart,
right,
you can see that, we're still at that really low level, but it is starting to have a nice upward bend to it. And we're very hopeful that the fundamentals are in place to see significant double-digit growth, including over 20% for the coming years. That's what we're hopeful, that we're finally going to see a sustainable trend versus this choppy water that we've been sort of sailing through of late. That's where most folks are. But right now today, if you ask Floor Expo members around the country, is your business better than last year, 10 out of 10 are going to say yes.
Yeah, and let's address that for a minute. You talk about the healthy level, looking at the 10-year trend. The healthy level, according to many, is where it should be, is about 1.2, and it's at 750. So we've still got at least 500,000 or so to go, don't we?
We got some room to go. There's no question about that, and I would agree with that number. Is where you get into balance, is around that number.
Yeah.
So, we have some room to grow to get there. That's for sure.
Now, let's talk about flooring and how things have changed. Most people know that the reason the construction market is off with housing is because there's a huge inventory of existing homes out there. And building a home, you've got all the current cost of materials, the price of copper, and everything involved. And, you can only build it to a certain level. It's going to be more expensive, especially in light of the fact that the existing homes have fallen in value. So it's a very competitive market out there. Having said all that, what is going on with finishes in these new homes? The builder is kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. If he wants to build a house, he's got to build it for something that's somewhat competitive to existing homes. What type of flooring is he putting in?
Well, you're right about the pressure in the marketplace, and trust me, if the builder's between a rock and a hard place, his flooring contractors and Floor Expo feel it too.
Yeah.
And that is one thing right now, is squeezing out a profit on this increased business is a challenge because of the pressure on the base bid. Mm-hmm. And that still exists, no doubt about it today. And as you well know, there's been more base or standard goods sold in the last several years than anybody would like. With the slight increase that we're seeing now, or the nice increase, let's call it, we are seeing a slight uptick in better goods. which is most welcome. And we're even seeing, because to compete against foreclosures, as you talked about, the average size of the new home had gone down fairly significantly. Even that started to reverse trend slightly of late. So we're seeing things, larger format tiles, 18s, 20s, even rectangles. You're hearing more of that lately. Wide width, hand scrape wood. You're hearing more of that kind of thing lately. But still a lot of pressure on that base bid, that standard package, no question. But I'd say a slight share gain on hard surface. Hard surface is a little easier to make a little money as a contractor on the hard surface today. You can make a little profit on that. It's easier than the base bid on carpet, just as it happens in the marketplace. Fairly consistent on over the last few years.
Now, when you start looking at the whole country, you're nationwide. You've got feelers out there all over the country. You start looking at, say, a Las Vegas versus a Texas. There's certainly some pockets where it's better than others, right?
Oh, no question. No question. That's true. I would say this, though, is that you're seeing more improvement across the board now than in recent times as well. I mean, we follow one of the NAHB numbers as they track improving markets, and they're up to 99 on that number, which is the best number they've had in a long, long time. And speaking of that, too, the builder confidence index that they measure is at the highest level in 6 years, too, so that's kind of another positive. Those two things are important, I think, but a lot of pressure on that base bid, but we are seeing a little bit of increasing in the availability to buy on the credit side, which then translates into few more upgrades, and we love those upgrades.
Well, let's talk. You've got a meeting coming up. It's your annual meeting. You've got it at a pretty nice place. You're going to Marco Island, Florida, and it looks like it's going to be, October 17th to the 19th. Why don't you give us a couple of highlights of what's going to happen there?
Absolutely. We'll have the whole gang down in Marco Island, Southwest Florida. We're excited. The largest of the 10,000 islands and the gateway to the Everglades. And we've got a great meeting planned. In fact, just today I learned we've sold out a couple of our activities that we do down there because, as you know, we like to have a little fun while we work. So the fishing is booked and the mangrove tour is booked, Kemp, just so you know. All still available. Okay. But in terms of the meetings, I would say a couple of highlights. One, we're having for the first time ever a CFO financial track. This is where the CFOs of our members, the controllers, the bookkeepers, the accountants, have their very own track where we're doing things such as a performance workshop based on your operating income statement, where we'll literally get them in there and dig in detail for their operating income statement, looking for savings and ideas to help them be the best they can be. We're having a panel called Money, 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 where we'll be talking about billing, collecting, managing lines of credit, dealing with banks, credit cards, cash flow, planning your cash for the increased business that we were talking about earlier. So that's really exciting. And I'll tell you another thing we have this year. We're introducing a new program to help our folks hire great people. And I'm excited about that for two reasons. One is the program is outstanding at weeding out the wheat from the chaff. And the other thing is that we can have a hiring program and have a lot of folks be interested in that. It's been a while, and the interest in that is off the charts, which I think speaks well to our prior discussion. You've been to our conference. We're going to have a great time. And all of our members will come having a couple of things. When they get on that airplane to go home, they will have had a great time. They will have interacted with their friends and fellow members and very importantly, our partner suppliers. And they're going to have some new ideas to go back and make their business better.
Are you going to do your run again this year?
Absolutely, yeah. The run is on Friday morning, the famous 5K, and I can tell you it's going to be on the beach at Marco Island. So a little harder. It'll be a beach run.
Yeah, last year, I think some people got lost, didn't they?
Last year, that was not our finest hour in terms of logistics planning. But as they say, get better every day. This year, it's going to be wired so tight, Kemp, I hope you'll come out and run with me.
Yeah, I think we will. And, one of the neat things, just to top line that a minute, the neat thing about this organization is that they're all healthy, energetic, hard-working, but work hard, play hard. So it is a fun meeting.
We're fortunate enough to have the best gig in our industry. Running Floor Expo is a pleasure because of our members and our partner suppliers. We just have a great group of folks to work with.
Jay, I appreciate it. Good to talk to you again. Been talking to Jay Smith, who's president of Floor Expo, also known as the FEI Group, and we've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.